It's that time again. I drank a shit ton of coffee and I feel better. I had a moment there where I thought I was going to fall asleep. Then I fixed it the only sensible way one can. Through caffeine. Okay, here we go. Ah! Okay, let's see if I can make some progress. Emmy's head is driving me insane. But, how's it going, people? It's been a hell of a day. Well, actually, it's been a hell of a week. Today's not been too bad. It was a long week. I'm glad it's over. Things have finally kind of settled down. 'Cause I'm no longer... Yep, it's official. I'm no longer working there. And if you are somebody who knows who I am, I am quite glad. I'm quite glad that I am not working there anymore. Man, it was not, well, I'll put it this way. It could have been fun. Most of the time it wasn't. But hey, no point in focusing on the past. Might as well move forward from here. Hold on, I'm fixing something. There. Ugh. No, her head's just positioned weirdly. I don't know. I didn't like where it was. It just made her neck look really weird. But, what is... The thing on my mind right now that I think everyone is like is, well, now that you have done this, what now? Well, for starters, I'm going to be probably posting a lot more in places, especially my artwork. It's going to be fucking everywhere. I'm just going to spam it all over the internet until people are trying to kill me. Just stop it. But, in all honesty, I'll probably just focus on doing more drawing and then try to find a part-time job in the meantime, but just really go for it. I see no reason not to. I have all this time now. The last time I was put in this situation, I didn't take advantage of it. This time, well, I would have only me to blame if, I let it get as bad as it did before, so... It also might be on my end. I noticed there was some buffering when I kind of previewed the stream. Is anybody else having buffering issues? Because my internet's been acting weird lately. It's great. It's my favorite. I hope I don't have internet issues. That would be inconvenient for me. I've just kind of come to accept that I'm always going to have technical issues, no matter what. Either my computer system sucking or not having, fast enough internet or whatnot. Well, shit. I hope you can get something. But the nice thing is you can always come back and watch it at any time and see how disappointing it was you couldn't watch it live like all the cool kids. We'll laugh at you when you go offline. He probably can't even hear this because it's still buffering. No bully, he says. This is no safe place. This is no safe zone. There's rampant uh, killings in the street when I'm streaming. God, I need to drink more freaking coffee. I'm still not quite awake enough. Oh. I don't know why. I'm kind of crashing at the moment. Which is only kind of annoying because it's like, I do want to draw, so. Yeah, yesterday I actually ended up spending all night hanging out with a buddy of mine. And congratulations to him. Shout out to that guy. He is going to possibly be moving to Texas and getting like a really, really good paying job. I'm proud of him. He deserves it. He's a good guy and a good man. I hope everything works out for him. But yeah, we just hung out and I stayed up later than I usually do. And I'm gonna try to fix my goddamn sleep schedule. We'll see. 'Cause I don't know if I ever explained, my sleep schedule's fucked. Essentially, I wake up at, let's see, no. The best way to explain this, because I was working mornings at 6:30 in the morning, I would go to work at 6:30, work until 3 o'clock because I was working full time. To which, fuck, that was part of the reason why I crashed so hard. And man, it was a full time job that I was given way more responsibility and had put way more effort into than I really cared for and took away from this. But I would get up at, or I'd go to work at 6:30, then work until 3, get off work, probably stay up for about another hour, hour and a half, go to bed at 5 in the afternoon, and then wake up at midnight every day. That's my life at the moment. I'll probably have to take a couple days to like readjust, but and the weird part is I wouldn't even say that's necessarily a bad schedule. I feel like it worked in a weird ass way, but it certainly is not conducive to having a normal awake schedule with the rest of the human race, so yeah. Hopefully I'll get that fixed along with the rest of my life, but who knows. Baby steps. That's something I've kind of realized is one thing I feel like I've always done because I felt it was the way that you did things, and that I'm realizing I'm kind of wrong about, or was wrong about, was I kept on being like, I'll take care of this part of my life and then I'll focus on this other part of my life. And what I'm just kind of learning is you can't really do that. You just gotta fucking roll with the punches, man. You just gotta not. You gotta just do and make the best decisions you can, but also you can't sit around and be like, I'm going to fix this part first and then I will do something else. You just kind of gotta take it when you can. And part of me was like, I will wait until I'm established and then I'll have the ability to do art. And what I learned with this last job is I would go to work and work 8 hours a day, be pretty unhappy about it for most of the time until an hour before I get off work, when people who were awesome. The people who worked at around 2 o'clock were great people. If you're in the stream, you guys were awesome. You were one of the few things, along with the maintenance guys, that made it worth being there. So it was nice. But in that time, I would end up spending some amount of time drawing anyways. Like, and that's the problem, was it wasn't like I could draw anything I wanted to. I just drew whatever I could. in my meantime. It was nothing important. Most of it was just practice. Probably used so many goddamn receipts. Were probably the reason why we ran out of receipts so often. Guilty as charged. But yeah, no. I spent so much time there drawing anyways. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. If I'm gonna spend this much time doing this and not get paid for it and not feel like I'm able to actually study and grow from it, and feel miserable most of the time, why don't I just focus that time on solely drawing? So the plan now is just to be like, fuck it, and try to establish better drawing habits and get in the habit of drawing something every single day. My kind of stretch goals for my life now, I guess, are have something to post every single week, regardless if it's a big project or not. But like, have at least like one drawing, even if it's just a small drawing that I drew in my past time to share every week on, all of the respective places that you can find me. The Facebook, the Vote, the places. So, and hopefully, slowly work my larger, bigger pieces into actually finished work. Because one thing I ran into before I started working was I was like, okay, I want to start working on stuff again. And then I would get into this, I wouldn't say habit, more like just roadblock, where I would just get horrible artist's block and just not know how to continue a specific work. But I was stuck in the mindset that I needed to finish that work before I could work on anything else. But this time around, I'm going to actually try to keep the mindset of having multiple projects, whether they're commissions from other people or my own personal work, to keep me busy and not keep me from getting stuck like that again, because it'll mean I'll have something. I should have anything to draw, to pull from. Like, I don't have to draw one thing. It'll allow me to better pace. That was the problem, is I didn't know really how to pace doing art. And if there's anything that this last job taught me, finally, I guess, is both the importance of pacing and how to actually get that for myself. Because, you should be fast, but you need to be working at a pace that isn't going to fucking kill you, like, in anything. If you are, just because you are putting in great effort doesn't actually mean you're doing something correct. The thing that this job taught me is the best that I got at it was learning how to do things without putting in effort and still getting them done. And that kind of makes sense. If you can figure out how to do something without putting much effort into it, like actual effort, but still do it fairly well, you're doing something right. You're not making a mistake by doing that. Putting in effort doesn't mean you're making something better all the time. If anything, it just means you're tiring yourself out. Sometimes you just have to learn how to do something without it stressing you out. And, I mean, that's part of what this job helped me learn, but a lot of the reason why I left anyways was, well, I had to use it as a way to encourage myself to get some resolve. If I stayed there, I was going to continue being miserable either way. You have to learn how to gauge what you're willing to put up with. And I was not willing to put up with it anymore. Regardless of how I actually found ways to cope with the job, it still didn't change the fact that I wasn't getting enough time to pursue things I wanted to. It still didn't change the fact that I wanted to use that time better. So, here we are. I'm using that time better, in my own way, and nobody can tell me otherwise, because I don't care. The real joke is on you guys. You're the ones who decided to join and watch. I can talk to myself for hours. You know that. But yeah, like, I learned some pretty important things at this last job when it comes to actual personality, I guess, and what I kind of just want. And it certainly did make me realize something is it's full-time work is something that I feel like you should dedicate yourself to. If you feel like your job, if you're working full-time and you're not happy with that job, a, a full-time work should feel like something that shouldn't feel like you're wasting your time. Honestly, I believe that. Even if it's worth the money, I mean, you should want to be at the job you're doing, at least in some capacity. Like, that's the thing with this last job was I would have probably been fine if I could have had more time to spend with the people I worked with that I cared to work with. It's not like I completely hated every aspect of the job or every person at the job. So, yeah, but it just boiled down to the things I liked about it. I didn't get enough of. I didn't get that, and I don't think it's wrong to recognize that and take action about it. It just means I did something about it. You know? Like, there's a difference between accepting the fact that, you know, things are going to suck one way or another and just letting that be a fact and trying to at least do something about that. Like, I understand, especially now with my current situation, yeah, it doesn't suddenly mean everything's going to be better immediately. Oh, fuck no. I don't believe that for a second. But it means that I have given myself the ability to make it better. It means I've made a choice that I can do something now. I can actually change things. And, you know, yeah, like, that feels good. It feels like I finally have made a choice, not so much that I didn't regret, but I'm finally making a choice that is going to only work out for me if I actually do something about it and not just have it feel like, oh, I've now thrown myself to obscurity in a lot of ways. I don't believe I have. I don't believe I've thrown away something good. I don't believe I've like somehow ruined myself. And I think one of the things I also was having difficulty even when I was amidst quitting was having it feel like a lot of people thought I was making a very, very big mistake when I just had to, you know, tell them no. It's only going to be a mistake if I don't do anything. It will only be a mistake if I just... How did this man get my number? God, this man here. Sorry, I got a text from a strange man. But I don't even want to explain it. I don't know, it's fucking weird. But I believe that, you know, I wouldn't be here doing this if I couldn't somehow provide, I guess, or like do something with this. Like, that's the thing is, I've done a lot of reflection on the past, on like anything that I've ever made in the past, and have really thought seriously, like, no, how many, what are you saying, Silos? Oh, dude, I don't like noses. Noses aren't cute. Calm down, Silos. Only one person doesn't have a nose. She doesn't have a nose. But I've thought seriously, like, and kind of reflected on things that I've done in the past, like all the things I've worked on. And I do consider it work, like things that I have worked on in the past, regardless if it was all the way back in high school. And thought and been like, when has there ever actually been a time, seriously, where I was too lazy to accomplish something? Like, and honestly, even when I was back in high school, I still found time to create things and finish them. It was never a matter of effort. It was never a matter of feeling like I couldn't. So there's nothing that makes me believe anymore that I can't actually apply this, because even when I was a kid, when I've admitted like believing that I really wasn't that great, or really wasn't that great particularly technically at doing anything technical, I still made things and I still finished them. I still made a ton of things in my own way. And there's no reason to believe that I can't continue making those things on a more mature and professional level. As I continue to draw this. But, like, seriously, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't try to grow as an artist. It it has always been something that's kind of crept in my mind, and it has always been something that I was always at least like, it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to be more of, to do art or to draw. But I think one thing I always thought was like, no, I won't be able to get a job. Wouldn't be able to get a job doing art. What I've slowly recognized is, fuck that. I didn't fucking need to be paid to make any of the things that I did before. What is honestly keeping me from making things? The answer is really nothing. Nothing's keeping me from doing this. It certainly isn't money, that's for damn sure. It certainly isn't a job. I still fucking drew at my job when it wasn't even, in a lot of ways, it wasn't even allowed. Like, I brought a sketchbook to work the first couple times I worked, and one of my coworkers, like, early on was like, you can't bring that to work. Granted, she was a bitch, but, like, she told me I couldn't, so then I didn't. And I still, every single day, littered my cash register with different sketches that I had done that day, or when my friend and I had started making that game, like, there were just tons of sketches of concept art on receipts, on receipt paper, to which, if there's, strangely enough, anything that has taught me to be a better artist, it's to draw on receipt paper. If you draw on receipt paper, it's not easy. It's weird-ass paper. Nothing sticks to it. You can't erase. You can use a pencil and it can't erase on it. It's really, really weird. But that's what a lot of those images, if they look like they're on weird, crinkly paper, that's all receipt paper. Because that's all I had. That's all I had to work with was receipt paper and a pencil at my job. And I still did. I still made shit. I still made a lot of stuff. Like, any of my coworkers can attest, like, I would always have, unless I was having a really, really bad day, like, I would have some sort of image, some sort of picture that I was kind of doodling or working on every day. And if I'm going to do that every day at a job, why not do that every day when I'm at home, or can go someplace and work on something that I want to see finished and grow and develop, and not just be doodles that keep me from going insane at my job. Like, that's the important part that I realized, is I need to do something about this because I can. That's also the other thing, was I could. I did it because I could. A lot of people believe they can't do something, and I don't know. It's not like I don't have stresses, and I don't have, bills and stuff I need to take care of. Or, fuck, I haven't even started working on college loans, and that's still stressing me out. But it doesn't mean I couldn't do that, I guess. I couldn't keep doing that to myself. I finally started gaining the confidence to say that, no, I'm not gonna fucking put up with that anymore. I'm not gonna keep getting screwed over and fucked over just because it's what I need to put up with. And instead start to figure out my own way to deal with this shit, instead of putting up with stuff continuously until hopefully the shit stops. To which all that taught me was it doesn't. It doesn't fucking stop in that regard. Never does. Just as I can't really think of any other way to put that. But yeah. And look, like in the last month, through continuing to work on this, I've started gaining more recognition, and I mean, I'm happy about it. And I want to see that grow. I want to see more things that I make, because I know I can make them. I just needed the time. I needed to get the time again, regardless if it meant risking more problems or more struggle. I'd rather struggle in a setting where I feel like I can control it, rather than one where I am forced and expected to just put up with it. Because, no, I want to solve those things. I don't just want to put up with them. I don't think anyone should. So there, positive pep talk from a man who freaking, I don't know. You can make your own choices. Because I wouldn't even call myself. I mean, I'm fairly, I guess. Even when I was a kid, I never really liked the term extrovert, because I don't still really even see myself as much of an extrovert. I'm just not. I'm not person allergic. People don't make me feel uncomfortable, I guess, or not in a way that, say, a typical introvert would. Because I wouldn't say as a person, I don't know, I have extroverted tendencies, but I wouldn't say as an individual I need to be around people to feel maybe good. I don't know. Because that's also what I never understood the difference between extroversion and introversion, is because, I didn't really see myself as either. Because I have parts of me that are like, no, I don't want to be around people all the fucking time. That sounds horrible. Not because sometimes just people need to not fucking be around sometimes. That's fine. But other times I'm like, man, I really hate being by myself. But that doesn't really feel like something that's, an all or nothing camp. Introverted people want people around too, and extroverted people want people to go the fuck away sometimes. It seems normal. I mean, that's true, and that's fair. I'm really good at dealing with people, actually. I've recognized that. Strangely enough, as I've described to many people, I'm the most difficult person I'm the easiest person you'll ever talk to who you'll have difficulty talking to. But honestly, like, at my last job, one of my coworkers was like, "No, you do get along well with people and don't act adversely to social interaction." And I mean, like, I never really have. I just was always, I wouldn't even say uncomfortable. I was just always awkward in a very confident way about it. That's the thing, is I've also been described as I'm awkward, but you can take me out in public. For the best way to put that. And it's just because I own it, but in a very specific way where it isn't like, I'd hope it's not obnoxious. Some people still find it obnoxious, but then I just ignore those people. Because it's no longer, I'll go ahead and give you an example. We all know, like, those people who are like, ooh, look at how random I am. And I kind of laugh at those people, because I'm not that kind of person. I like to hope I believe. Because part of it is I don't play on randomness for the sake of randomness. I use it as a personality trait. It is the fact that my brain is fucking weird and likes to do whatever the hell it wants and think about whatever the hell it wants. And I use that as my sense of humor. It has nothing to do with, look at how random I can be. It's more of, my brain's doing the thing again, guys. It's just doing the thing again. I'm sorry. You can't really stop it because, hell, it doesn't even care. So, and that's the thing is, like, I make awkwardness cool. I don't fucking know how else to put that. I just don't get easily discomforted by the weird shit that comes out of my mouth, but I also try to tone it in a way that is actually entertaining to hear and isn't just random weird bullshit. You know, my brain, might make a random thought, but then I try to articulate that thought into something that people can find humorous. It doesn't have to be just look at how random my thought was. It is nonsense with meaning in a lot of ways. Is how my brain likes to operate. Nah, you're good. I want people to be interactive. I want people to talk, because then that'll give me things to talk about. I mean, like, that's also the thing is, I don't think being a particularly introverted or extroverted somehow gives you better or worse stock. That's the thing that frustrates me is I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm an introvert, so thus I won't be able to do this, 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 and this. And I'm just like, listen, you have to learn. You need to sometimes be able to overcome your tendencies to be able to achieve something. That's just what a part of being able to get anything is. Like, you can't use your personality as an excuse to not do something. If anything, it should encourage you to find your way of doing something, so that way you can do it more unique than anyone else. Because your personality dictates how you handle a situation. But it doesn't mean you can't handle that situation. There aren't situations where, because of how I think and feel, mean that I can't handle that kind of situation. It's almost kind of a backwards way of thinking. Which one? This one? Is this the dick, or is this the dick? You pointed something out. I need to know. Is this the one? Is this the father? Is this one? Which one is... Tell me. I need to know. That one? Is it this one? I'm guessing it's this one. I don't know. They both look pretty phallic. I'm just saying. Unless you're talking about this one. This one's got a good curve to it. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's definitely not that one. If it is, this guy's got some issues. I don't know what this lump is. Enough of that. Enough of this. On IRC. Ondid asks, how do I feel about the fundamentals of art? Okay, so after some self-reflection and how I have realized that for a long time I was actually real bad at art. My opinion of the fundamentals of art are, they are important, but they are not the end-all, be-all of creation. You need to understand the fundamentals of art, but you need not have them restrict you. They are not what you use to create something, they're what you use to develop. And by that, simply I just mean they're what you use to understand how you want to create something. Because the fundamentals are important. They're what you work on to make your own unique creation. You can't just be subversive to a fundamental concept and then be considered good. Part of it has to be understanding what is important about it being fundamental, and then finding a new way to express it. That's why I kind of realized I needed to really do some study and understanding of like lighting and shadow and stuff like that, because it's always been something I liked and it's always been something I wanted to get better at, and then use that study to actually find my own technique on how to accomplish it. Because the fundamentals don't make you better. Well, actually, no, they make you better. They don't make your art, though. They don't make your identity as something that you create. So, for the fundamentals, they are there to give you guidelines, to kind of give you a perspective in a lot of ways on how to accomplish something in art. But they aren't. They are also there to test yourself as an artist, to see how you can manipulate the fundamentals to make something unique. Because a big part of that is finding out how to break them. Is finding out how to break them and still make something appealing. The fundamentals give you the basis for how to do everything, and then it is up to you as an individual to figure out how you want to manipulate that base to make something creative. Because again, like, let's say the fundamentals of painting or illustration, or yeah, we'll go with painting. A lot of painting is more about putting down color and overlapping it than it is about making shapes and making lines and making articulate things. But it doesn't mean you have to necessarily do that. It is just a large element of it. It's a large element of what will make something look distinct in painting. And the way that you kind of break the fundamentals is finding ways to break ideas like that. Like, how do I make painting do other things? How do I make an image how do I make a medium do something different than you would expect it to? And that's something I've always felt strongly about, like with anything I create. For example, with let's say with charcoal, a lot of my early charcoal works were still really heavily based in illustration. They're still based in using lines and line work. And again, I've kind of gotten away from that and gotten better at making more, not using charcoal correctly in a sense, but using charcoal in conjunction with my unique kind of personal style or aesthetic, and it's a two-way street. You can't just do something different and then have it be good. You have to actually implement it in a way that is appealing. But it also doesn't mean you have to just follow those strict guidelines. You can't experiment. It limits experimentation to believe that the only way to make something good is through the fundamentals. Yeah, like that's absolutely not true. So, thanks, Silos. Thanks you for boobies. Hold on, let me find some more music for me, because you guys don't get music, because it mutes these streams if I put music on. I now want to discuss something about that that I find really frustrating, but at the same time I'm having a bit of a personal struggle with how I actually feel about it, because music is a really good example of something you can easily share and easily like share openly and have people generate their own experiences of. And the idea of wanting to share music with people for the sake of allowing people to have that is something that appeals to me. But I also understand the necessity of art in general to not screw over the artist. I would hope I don't get screwed, but I'm kind of going into it with the expectation of getting screwed in a lot of ways. There's not really a single part of my life that hasn't had people trying to screw me over. Like, that doesn't mean there are only people trying to screw me over, it just means they're still there. Um, but I feel like it's difficult to be able to feel like when sharing anything when it's okay. Because it's like, yeah, I guess it's different than sharing it to, like, say, a group of friends. 8 of us, as opposed to an entire Twitch, where there are potentially hundreds of people. My Twitch has hundreds of people. Yes. But no, like, potentially can be streaming that to large numbers and volumes of people who can listen to it for free. And yeah, I guess that is a problem. And I mean, anyways, it just kind of does mask my voice and kind of ruin a lot of the commentary, anyways. So I will admit um, that dissuasion to play music while I'm streaming is definitely helpful. But it is very frustrating because it's like there's this new song that I really like, or this new album that I found, and there's always. That's the thing I like about music is you'll always find something. I do not believe that it is possible for me to not find new music for me to listen to and enjoy. It's just too much. There's way too much goddamn music in the world to not find something that I wouldn't enjoy listening to, regardless of genre. I'm not a genre junkie. I don't really prefer. I don't disprefer certain kinds of genre. I guess that's what I should emphasize. Is it? I prefer plenty of genres. I love classical. Um, Not so much classical, but like say big band, or like when I was playing earlier, I like contemporary takes on older styles of music. I like things like electro swing. I like jazz, and I really have gotten into hip hop. But they each kind of have their own facet that I really enjoy about them. One of the main reasons why I like hip hop is for good lyricism. That's what I look for. And to be able to find that and want to openly share it, it is something I desire, but I know it's something I probably shouldn't do, or know is not necessarily in the reference of, like, say, Twitch and stuff, not really a good choice to be making, simply just because it means kind of not so much exploitation, but at the end of the day, I'm not. Those people aren't making money off of me streaming, so it's not so much I got told. It's just more like every single time I would stream with music in the background, which I would watch and then be like, this isn't that good, because it's just my taste in music, and part of the reason why I'm playing it in the background is because I want to listen to it, not because anyone asked. Uh, but my streams were getting told, portions of your stream will be muted because they have copyrighted material. Which also is kind of a double-edged sword, because what can keep people from copywriting gameplay and then saying you can't, which would be ironic because, Twitch is all about games more than anything else. I'm the weird one for Twitch streaming this. What would prevent somebody from being like, you can't, or a company being like, you can't stream our game because the material is copyrighted? I mean, I have the feeling like there must be something that prevents them from being able to do that, or else Twitch just wouldn't even be able to exist. But yeah, like that's or like say I could see some interesting things for not me, but like anyone who wanted to do this with live reviews, or say a classical almost I'm trying to think what it's called, the there's a I'm trying to think, what is that comedy thing, 3000 where they sit in front of the theater and they shit talk old movies because they've been imprisoned for forever and have to watch shitty movies and talk about them. I forgot what that's called, unfortunately. I really want to watch it sometime. Mystery Theater 3000, I believe. Something like that. But like, I could see Twitch streams of that actually being a lot of fun. But people probably can't do that because the content is copyrighted. And there needs to, I don't know, copyright is there to defend. Like, I don't think the idea behind copyright is bad. I think it's, in the end, just limiting of actual content. It's limiting in people's actual ability to interact and use other people's work. It is Mystery Thousand. Okay, good. I thought so. I wasn't sure if it was Mystery Science Theater 3000. Thank you. 'Cause like, that could be really fun. I don't think I'd be good at it, but I think I could see somebody like watching older movies and like just, cause like when like me and my friends get together and we watch a bad show for the fuck of it to have fun. We're doing the same thing, shit talking the things that are happening on screen and how maybe serious it is or how overblown the situation is and how poor it is. And copyright kind of prevents that in a lot of ways. It prevents that ability to do things like that, where people can utilize other people's work to create their own work. Like, that shouldn't dissuade people. Like, that's where I find a lot of the fault in copyright, is it prevents people from actually being able to express, and all in the vein of protection for artists, when there's not really anything that makes me believe that artists are even getting value out of that. I don't know. I don't feel like people benefit from heavy copyright. Like, there needs to be some sort of scrutiny, definitely, but I don't know. Like, I bet, as an example, I bet fucking Critical Penguin Zero would get so many fucking views if he live streamed one of his movies. When he watches a movie and shit talks it with his buddy. Like, I bet he would probably, it would be so goddamn popular. Not because I necessarily want that, but because I think that would be something that would work really well, because he does it, and people enjoy it. That's also another thing here, is like, that example is not because of something I want to see happen, it's just something I believe could be done by people if they had the ability to. So, and yeah, I kind of, and it says, do you think that copyright will ever be reined in or not because of rich interest groups? And yeah, like, that's part of, if I'm interpreting what you're saying correctly, like, this could also just be plain straight up misinterpretation. We'll see. I'll try to give the best explanation I can. I believe that part of the issue is just from greedy individuals abusing the copyright system. Like, every system is ripe for abuse. There's no system that's perfect. And that's part of the problem, is there are people who are taking advantage of the fact that copyright can be used to prevent people from creating something, not because it's stealing, but because it actually prevents them from losing money on something that somebody else would be making, just because they are referencing or utilizing a work that isn't 100% theirs originally. And that's why I'm like, okay, I get that to an extent, definitely. Like, you need to protect you don't want people just straight up ripping you off or taking credit. That's why I think credit should always be given if you're going to work on something. if something like that happens, you should still try to credit, the original creators or whatnot. And I don't think it needs to go as far as like then that creator gets, part of the rights or whatnot. I don't believe that either. That's just fucking overcomplication. It just makes it more complicated than it needs to be. You know, just try to treat the original creator with some dignity and respect, I guess. But it's like I don't think I don't think anything is really sacred. I don't think you can't not do something. Like even when it doesn't make me happy, I'll admit I got really freaking I have some strong opinions about like freaking Battlefield 1, but I'm slowly being like, no, somebody worked on that. A group of people worked on that. They're allowed, just like anyone else, to have the right to try and use that to be successful. It doesn't have to be fucking a deep thing, the world's deepest work on the planet for something to be successful. My only problem with that is just I hope people, it creates kind of an issue where then people think that that is what you need to do or create. Hold on, my music is way too loud. That's what you need to do, or that's what you need to work on to be able to be successful at something. And I don't know. I've started to learn that I think the best mentality when creating something is have things that inspire you, but don't believe that the way that something else did something is the way that you need to do it. Like, that's kind of the problem that copyright wants to prevent, but does it in a way where it's kind of easily exploited. So, no problem, mate. Sleep well. But yeah. Where do I want to go next with this? I think I'll finally add an individual. 1 second, let me... How tall is this picture? I don't even fucking know. Hold on. This is 640 by 720. Where is 480? Oh my. That's not what I want. I don't know why I did that. Give me a second. I'm finding something. Oh my god. I'm full of gas. If it sounds like I'm dying, it's because I am. I ate a lot of soup and then drank an entire cup of coffee. I feel like I'm going to explode. If you are curious, if this is popping up, yeah, if you're wondering what that line is, I'm just trying to see if I need to make my image bigger or taller. No, it's perfect. I did it just right. Well, like, let's use this image as an example. Not that I'm selling it or anything, but like, or that I believe that something like this would happen either. But like, so it's just an extreme example for the sake of being extreme, because I'm an extreme guy. Let's say if, I created this image, and the original creator of the game saw it. The thing that always bothered me about copyright when it's abused poorly is then that individual could be like, you didn't make this, so it's not allowed to exist. And there's just so much subjective just mess with that kind of mentality, because on one hand, yeah, you're not wrong. Like, I didn't originally make either of the images this is based on. But on the flip side, that shouldn't, what should actually prevent that from existing even at all? And that's kind of the issue that I struggle with, is where do you find a limit on saying that something can't even exist at all just because that person didn't make it first? Like, it's messy to me. It's a messy situation. Who knows? What do I know? I don't know anything about anything. anything. Intelligent statements by me, but that's why I'm like, I don't want to come off with the impression that the world is like, everyone's got it wrong. You guys are just overreacting. Like, no, I'm sure there's merit to a lot of that stuff. I just don't know how to. I personally don't know how to rationalize it a lot of times. So, hold on. We're gonna draw in a new character. Give me a second. God damn it, the power of Google. I've Google searched the characters of this game so many times on my phone that it autofilled after I typed in Lily. Whoopsie. Yeah, should be. I'm okay at art. I should be able to figure out how to draw this with her facing left. Alright, everybody ready for me to draw the next character? They're a loaf of bread. Or at least that's how I feel about them. Oh, damn it. I just don't like this character. She just is boring to me. Fight me. Okay, we got that. I'm trying to judge where she needs to be. By the way, you'll see what I'm gonna do here. It's gonna be fucking brilliant. I'm a genius for doing this, guys. I'm so funny. I am funny guy. The funniest on the planet. Okay, let's see. Oh god, she has wavy hair. Oh jeez, this is gonna suck. Not that it already doesn't, but yeah. I'm so funny. You'll see what I'm gonna do, hopefully, in 2 days. This is foreshadowing. Get it? Because I'm running out of things to talk about. Anyways. So my plan here is I'm just straight up going to take, when I finish this part, and I'm gonna post it the exact same image at the top part. Because I cannot contain myself. I'm not patient enough. So, spoilers. But yeah, hopefully, how does it, it's always a messy topic. I only say it's messy because I'm just like, I don't even fucking know how to describe that I do any of my shit. I mean, what it kind of boils down to, I the way that I kind of developed as my technique has gone was I've always been big into kind of like strong um, line work, like using lines to create most of the information in an image. Like that's just something I've always been pretty strong at. Um, but one thing I started to learn was not so much it wasn't the only way, but that there just are things lines can't do that I wanted to do. So I started looking at how to do things like shading better, and that was really when I started to realize uh, what I could get out of drawing was when I realized how to do proper form building. Because the most fun I've ever had drawing was when I started drawing proper shapes and properly giving them like fluidity and structure. I've probably, I mean, I've drawn since a young age. I would say I started drawing. Eh, I wouldn't even say like there's a specific like date. It's more just like, and then one day I noticed I could do a thing, and then never stopped since I was 5 years old. Like it was really weird. I actually kind of, it's one of my few younger memories that I have, which was the first time where I recognized that I drew something that didn't look like a squiggle and actually looked like a thing that I wanted to put on the piece of paper. Because, you know, I was self-aware enough as a kid because I was just that cool to know when I stopped making doodles and actually made a shape that looks like an actual thing. Um, but a large part of how I learned how to draw was just, I would say the biggest thing that helped me was trying to first always, and I mean like, I wouldn't say this is a good way to learn how to draw, certainly not. I just think it was what helped me a lot was I was pretty adamant about not using references for a long time. I always tried to draw from memory. Now, in retrospect, I felt like I was a little bit of a dick for believing that references were bad. I am stupid and believe that I deserved having taken so long to properly do certain things because I kept on not using reference material. But one thing I noticed when I started doing it is I did have enough personal built up technique to be able to do that, but do it without just trying to one for one the image, but actually instead draw it using my own sense of style. That's a big part of it is I do feel like I've developed a personal style that I just had to work into building into a workable technique. The next big milestone that I got to was, man, the wrist is a powerful tool. Yeah, it's all in the wrist, guys. But really, though, I was fucking washing dishes earlier, and I was just like, you know, there is kind of a bit of discipline that is really useful to learn when it comes to wrist control with literally anything. Because once you've gotten a decent amount of discipline in your wrist, so many things become easier because you just make them happen. You don't put effort into it. You don't stress your arm or body trying to get something to move, and instead you just make it the way you want it to, whether it's moving something, drawing a line, flipping a pancake. You know, it really is kind of like, oh,
a lot of that stuff, if you just learn how to get it right on the first time, you don't have to put effort into it. Like that's the thing is there's a difference between being lazy and then being effortless. Something should be effortless. It shouldn't cause you shouldn't have to like put a lot of resistance against something to get a result. If anything, the best way to know that you're doing something correctly is if whether or not it actually is giving you any resistance to get a reaction or get the result you want. If something is, I would say, reacting poorly to you or resisting you, you're probably doing it incorrectly. That's just the honest truth. It should feel, and that's one thing that I kind of developed with a lot of my technique is this kind of like almost flowing style to it because it was less about getting it. I will say one thing that I did get good at is it feels like something is taking form over time rather than something that is just in the right spot where it needs to be every single time. Um, for someone who prides himself on starting and originally being an illustrator, I'm kind of a bad illustrator in a lot of ways. I'm much more of a. That's why I was like, oh man, I'm stupid for not having tried to paint or do anything like that sooner because it actually is something that comes more naturally to me in a lot of ways. But yeah, it it just takes, practice. And I mean, like, sure, talent is a big part of being able to do or create anything, or, but, talent only goes so far. If you're not willing to develop that talent, especially, like, just because and I would even say I necessarily, like, am talented in a way, because I don't see any reason why anyone who wouldn't have put as much time as I have in an interest couldn't get good at that interest. That's the thing, is drawing has always interested me, not just I was good at it. Because I don't know. I don't think the skills and abilities of an individual are preset at birth and rather are pursued through your personal interests or whatnot, and you develop them even if you are doing it subconsciously through practicing them. That's how you do become talented. Like, it's talent because you started to get interested in something, not because you were born to do it. And I don't know. Because, like, I don't think I was born to do a lot of the things I was good at. I just got good at them. I didn't let I didn't let the idea of being bad at something keep me from still excelling at it. You know, I didn't fucking go to school to cook. I still tried to be a cook. And now I make better food because I went out of my way to learn how to be a better cook. It had nothing to do with the fact that I'm innately or naturally a cook, I don't even think. Because I'm not a bad cook, but I don't think cooking is something that I want to necessarily pursue for the rest of my life. That's for sure. But it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with pursuing cooking. Like, there's nothing wrong with pursuing or not pursuing something regardless of how good you are at it. So it should interest you, not it shouldn't just be something you're good at. It's like, why would you want to do something you didn't necessarily even enjoy? That is something part of kind of tie back to why I even quit my job at the first part is it's just like this doesn't even really this is giving me skills that I can find useful, but it's not necessarily I want to put this much effort into. I'm not interested in continuing this. I want to be developing other things that I am still developing. Uh, So, let's see. There's got to be a way to fix this. There's something weird about her face. I think it's her eyes. Her eyes are too big. Probably just have the hair all wrong too. Yeah, I do. That's another thing is, one thing I've definitely developed is discipline. Discipline's important for literally anything. If you are too impatient to do something, you'll never see it finished. It's novel. I want to believe that I'm going to get good enough to be able to create something in a couple of days, but something only the best things come when you pace yourself to get them done, not just rush to get them done, you know. She have oh, she has a ponytail. And a lot of this came through like actual personal study and looking into how to make something done, like study something, If you want to see something done better, if you want to improve at something, you have to study it. It's not just. That's why I'm one of the only people on the planet who gets allowed to say something along these lines and probably still can't. Is I get good at drawing like this because I studied female form. But no, I wouldn't say I went on my way to fucking watch girls. Ugh. Well. Point is, I practiced. Well, shit. Now I've lost all of my female viewers. Damn it. Not again. I just like the thought of that. Like, oh no, it's happened again. But, actually, to salvage that thought, part of the reason why I got even good at that was because I stopped caring. I started drawing and studying it out of the continual belief that I wanted to see myself get better at it and not care if people like the content or not. Because, one of the reasons why I left Imgur is because I started posting there and there was just a slew of images that I had posted that were semi-popular, but there were multiple people who would leave just really kind of scathing comments about its contents that at the time, because, part of learning how to deal with anything is even being confronted with it, and I'd really never been confronted with this, was it's not that they were judging my quality, they were judging the content itself. They were judging what the images were. And it really made me uncomfortable what they were picking up on. Because, they were essentially boiled down to, it was images of... I drew a lot of girls and women naked, and they were like, looks like a kid, why are you drawing this? And that's really what bothered me, it was like, these aren't necessarily even just, these aren't children, and this isn't pornography, so, I'm uncomfortable about that. But then I kind of realized, it was like, no, I don't think I'm drawing it for that reason. It's more or less a joke. It's always been a joke that the things that I draw, you fap to in your own time, but they aren't porn, they're art. But, that was something I kind of quickly got over through the help of friends and whatnot, was, people are gonna shit talk anything you make. They're gonna try to find any way to ruin anything you create. So that's why I started being more open about anything that I drew, the things that I draw. Like, I draw dinosaurs, I draw naked women, I draw lots of things. I'm a dork, but an artistic one, so I draw anime. I draw Rin Tezuka a lot. There are really an alarming number of pictures that are just Rin in really silly ways. I think my favorite one, my sous I showed this to my sous chef when I was still working at the banquet restaurant. I just show him a picture of Rin Tezuka with a bucket on her head, and it has her saying, "Hey, look, I'm Lily." I'm such funny guy. I make good joke. I might post that image later. You might see that on Facebook. We'll see. Haven't decided yet. But yeah, like I'm starting to recognize that, you know, unless I create, because I don't create political art, I don't create things politically charged, I don't create things that are supposed to be controversial in a traditional sense of the this is a wow factor supposed to make you feel. I don't like that art. I don't like art that's supposed to just make you feel disgusted. That's not good art. That isn't good art in my opinion. It's not even really playing on emotion. It's just gross. It actually doesn't take any thought to assess that kind of art. It just is. Like I remember watching something. I don't remember who the director was, but like there's like an artistic director, and he did some sort of movie that I was shown by someone by another artist who was like, "Look at this arty thing." I was like, "Oh, okay." And amidst the trailer, this was the 30-minute trailer for a 4.5 hour movie. I think maybe longer than 4.5 hours. This is just a scene of someone shitting, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. That's not art to me. That's just a picture of someone shitting. It's just an image of seeing shit. Actual shit. Like, it it has to have actual substance. You know, you can't just show an image of something revolting and be like, look at how revolting it is. Well, yeah, you're fucking playing the obvious. You've done nothing but show something revolting. It didn't actually require any discipline or understanding to create. It just exists now, I guess. So cool. I'm trying to remember who the person was. I don't remember, or the director was. Am I getting swatted live? Did someone fucking call the cops on me? I don't know, there's some weird noises happening behind me. Just sounds like someone's trying to bust down my door. It's fine. I thought that was my door. I don't know. Everything's okay over here. How are you? But yeah, like, I mean, I'm no. I feel like one of the things that I'm the worst about is like judging actual art. Well, that's not true. I feel like I'm not bad at that. It's more like. It's just more like I want to see more things that invoke me to create more things is all. And I'm slowly finding more of those. I like part of the reason why I draw the way I do is because I've seen things that I like in this style. So, but yeah, like I don't think something needs to be quote unquote artistic to be actual, to be like considered good art. You know, so yay for tangents. That's what I do here. That's what we do. I don't even think this was the original question. I don't even think I ever touched on the original question, so you're welcome. But actually, if we're gonna, that's a good jumping point. Nobody said anything, so this is still a question up by Ark the Lad. Ark the Lad. 'Cause I'm not gonna pronounce your name correctly. Never once. Not even once. Games. Games I've played recently. Well, I mentioned on Facebook I've been playing a lot of Spellweaver lately with a buddy of mine, with a couple of buddies of mine. They got me into it. It's like Magic, but without the bullshit in a lot of ways. I like it. There are things I don't like about it, but it just boils down to I think I just don't like a lot of things about card games, and that's the fact that a lot of them are luck-based, regardless of how much of that luck you work out of the system. And that it has some issues with, like, actual card advantage and stuff like that, but it's pretty good. If you're ever looking for something that's different, actually no, it's not different. If you're ever looking for something that's more along the vein of Magic but much more balanced, that's for damn sure. Look into Spellweavers. It's pretty good. I might stream it sometime. I need to play the game anyways. Get some more cards. I'll play some wizard poker for your guys' entertainment and amusement. We'll see. But games that I've played recently, that's the thing, is like all I've been playing recently is Warframe, but that's not a bad thing. I fucking love that game. Me and my friends have been playing that like mad, like whoa, because we're obsessed with it. But especially my other friend who is about to hit the 1,000 hour play mark, because James, you're fucking insane. I love you, but you're mad. You're crazy. I haven't played a single game for 1,000 hours. I've played, well, that's not true. I think I clocked near 400 or 500 hours in a Monster Hunter. And that's discluding between games. I think just one of them I have over 400, and pretty regularly I got over 200 in each game. So, but still, 1,000 in a single game. In a single game? I'm proud of you, James. I haven't even been able to do that, and I play a lot of goddamn Insurgency and Dark Souls. But if you haven't played Warframe, it's really good. My best way of describing it is if you liked Destiny, it's Destiny but with a good plot and more substance. If you liked Destiny but felt like it was a bit boring, Warframe is a not only ridiculous game to play, but also has some of the best use of a multiplayer setting that I've ever seen. I love that game's use of multiplayer. It is really good. It does a lot of things that I like that remind me of games like Chrome Hounds and stuff. If you, oh boy, don't get me started on that. If you've never played Chrome Hounds, which I still to this day believe is one of the best multiplayer games systems, best multiplayer game systems I've ever played. Certainly not one of the best multiplayer games by a long shot, but one of the best systems I've ever played. It just had a lot of Warframe, and Chrome Hounds have a lot of aspects that make it feel like in a multiplayer space, you as an individual have an effect on the things that happen in the game, not just course A of MMOs, which is you are a person in a giant universe with a bunch of other people, or course B, you are playing a multiplayer game where nothing really matters because all of the games are confined to what is happening that specific session. They don't have any long-holding consequences. And fucking Warframe is all the developers, who are awesome. They have a great sense of humor and a great passion for the game they're creating. Which, by the way, it's not really finished. It's still technically in open beta. It's not beta anymore, guys. It's just a constant update game. Let's be honest. You just don't pay for it. It's also free. And definitely encourages you not to spend money to play it. It encourages you to spend money to support the developers because you fall in love with it. And gives you mad incentives actual incentives to spend money on the game instead of paywalls and whatnot. Because fuck, there's nothing in that game that makes me want to spend money other than the fact that you get coupons for free for playing the game. You get coupons to spend money, which is fucking genius. Holy shit. When you get a 70% coupon in that game, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, it's hard to not want to spend money on that, especially after you've enjoyed the game so much. Ugh, that leg. Trying to get a kind of like tight sitting stance. Here, let me play around with this for a second. Hold on. But Warframe is oof, that's not what I wanted. Warframe utilizes a lot of things like there is a game mode system, I want to say, where it shows percentages of support to a specific faction, and then players play to support a faction, and you get to see that in real time. Like it's something that happens and is reset, like I want to say every couple of hours, every few hours. Oh, that's what I did. I fucked everything up. And I like stuff like that. Chromehounds had a lot of elements like that. A big part of Chromehounds was its war system. Essentially, you got to play a 2-month session of Risk with other players online against them. And I still want a game that does that, because it really did a good job of framing what it is like to be in a conflict and a war. God, I fucking love that game. But too bad the servers are shut down. Still makes me sad to this day. 'Cause Sega is anuses. But, that's kind of what I want. I need to fix some proportions on her, but I need to fix her arms. But yeah, like, Warframe has a really interesting background and use of its setting, and has some really interesting themes with regards to its multiplayer. That's the thing I like the most, is it utilizes its premise as a multiplayer game to function as a narrative. And there are some really good thematic narratives that game does because it's a multiplayer game. It's Destiny. It does what Destiny does, but it's also more complex and better written. So good. And it's free. Best part is it's free. It's on Steam. Just download it right now. They just had a big update for story stuff. Do it. But I mean, that's the only real game I've been playing lately. I haven't had time. Been too busy working. But I started again. I should reiterate. I started again because I can never seem to fucking actually put time aside to play through this game properly. I started playing Majora's Mask. I want to beat that game. Oh, what did I do to her fucking head? I just took a second to look at what I created, and it's disgusting. Oh my god, I need to fix this. Hold on. This is too much. Everything is wrong here. Here, I know what I'll do. I'll pull a mammy. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Mouse, why are you doing that? Hold on. Apparently I told my joke before I meant to. There we go. All fixed. There. Picture's fixed. Moving on. But yeah, like, I started Majora's Mask again. I want to beat that game, I'm a giant fan of The Legend of Zelda, and I still can't believe I haven't beaten that game because, from what I'm told, it is one of the best written Zeldas. Uh, and I want to, Arthur. You gotta give, I finally got the time to do it, so who knows? I'll probably have that done in a couple of uh, months. There, much better. Through the power of editing software, I decree her face is no longer fucked. That was really bad. Let's be honest. She was disgusting there for a second. I mean, I already don't like this character, but ugh. Not even I'm that cruel. She's already blind. She didn't even know. Let's see. I need to fix her legs too. Everything is weird with the perspective of this part. See, this is the power of shit. The power of computer drawing. The undo button is really, really useful. You don't have to get good at doing things in one try, because you can just erase it. Or just pretend it never even happened. It's my favorite part. I'm trying to give her like a... Oh, that's not what I want. I'm trying to give her like, you know, her signature calm look. Because it'll just be that. This is what the image is going to look like. Hold on. I need to shrink Hanako's hands. They're really big. Statements you'll only hear on my stream. Oh, damn it. I need to... I'm just going to take it. Shit. Remember what I said about not being lazy? I was being lazy. There we go. I'm just gonna take it. There we go. Damn it. This will also be the layer for it. There you go. I'm really excited to do that top half because it's just going to be her like that in both images. I'm a fucking genius, aren't I? I'm so funny. Because if we all will remember, if we'll all take... I guess if there are new people who aren't even understanding why I'm doing this at all, I guess I should explain. There was an image that I saw that at first I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. I love those characters, but that was funny. And then I slowly took the time to actually really look at this image, and it kind of dawned on me that it just is bad. It's just a bad image. It's just a really shitty picture. Mainly because it doesn't utilize the characters correctly, and it doesn't even have Lily in it. Now, my friends are are telling me that these just aren't even the same characters. And I agree with them because they're not. But they seem to believe that they aren't even inspired by them. That's the only thing that I'm like, there are enough similarities that I can't help but feel like they were trying to. There are enough things that make me feel like they were just trying to use the characters and draw the image as quickly as possible. Then than anything else. And just the biggest thing that bothers me is like they missed out on a perfect chance for this joke. Like, come on, guys. I maybe I was the only one who could think of that, but come on, guys. It felt obvious to me. She's blind, for God's sakes. Joke writes itself. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I am drawing this image. There was something, I wanted to fix Shizune's eyes. Her eyes are really small. But, what time is it? 2:14? I'll probably do this for another hour. Another hour and a half. And then figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. I might go play some Warframe. Oh, fuck. By the way, I will still keep making videos. I haven't stopped. I just haven't had the time or physical capacity, mental capacity to do it lately. But I have an idea for a video that I just haven't gotten around to making yet. I'll make it one of these days. One of these days. It's a real zinger. It'll make everyone laugh, I promise. But, yeah. With the next... I'll try to get this done in a couple more streams. Probably shouldn't take more than 3 at most, because I'm starting to really make some... I've finally gotten this part done, because once I get the top part finished, then it'll just be a matter of I'll make another layer, and then I'll start focusing on actually making things colored in and stuff. And that'll go really fast, because it'll just be overlaying, essentially. And painting goes a lot faster. That's the thing, is lines are inefficient as all hell. It takes 1 billion lines to make something. It takes 1 stroke of a pen to make a shadow when you have it correct. So... stay tuned. This image finished maybe next week. Maybe in the next year. You'll find out next week. But once this image is finished, I had an idea for an image, but I was like, no, I do kind of want to see if I can do any more serious images. Kind of like talk about different styles. Explore different styles that I want to work in. Talk about different subjects I want to bounce off of the content or subject matter. Because, don't get me wrong, I like drawing things that, I personally found enjoyment of, or like to use them as jumping points to study some sort of aspect of something. But, I feel like I also do a lot of personal work anyways. Like, I make a lot of original work. And I wouldn't mind one of those streams being just me toying around with, maybe an art style or a challenge of some sort. I don't know. Because I feel like the only way to get better at something is also to be... like I was saying with the fundamentals, figuring out how to break them, figuring out how to improve upon them, or find your own way of developing them. It all comes in time and practice. Because one thing I've gotten much better at is like understanding how things are supposed to look. Like I talked about foreshortening, I think, on my last stream. Like that's something that I feel like I still struggle with every now and then. Like with these legs were having a tough time because foreshortening is sometimes a fucking bitch to deal with. Perspective is hard, but it often comes with practicing and understanding how perspective works. Because like if you noticed, I was like kind of making this cone. It's because I was trying to think like, you know, the legs are going to be coming straight down from like this point. Now how do I get the thighs to look the right proportions even, so that way they don't look like they're just weirdly in the way? You know? And I'm kind of getting there. Looks like I'm gonna have to do this. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna get weird. It's always been weird in here. If you joined and weren't expecting it to get weird, I'm just gonna draw our legs. It's fine. This is another thing that I kind of learned with art in general, especially with like clothing and stuff. The best way to draw clothes and understand how clothes work is you have to draw things naked. That's how it works. Like maybe you don't, for guys or girls, maybe you don't have to be explicit with it. I mean, I do because I feel like I need to be mature enough to do that anyways. It's just a fucking dick or vagina to me. I don't fucking care. But to understand how clothes fit to a body, you have to understand how the body even is shaped. You can't do that if you don't allow yourself to understand how those shapes even fit. You know? So oftentimes the best thing to do is just to kind of like draw it and then actually draw over it and erase the underneath part. So that way it looks like it fits correctly. It's actually kind of an interesting habit I've started. Not the habit itself, but like just an interesting way to think about how to draw something. And I mean, like one of the first times I ever like drew, it was actually really funny when I was younger, because you know, growing up, freaking girls are weird. But like when I was growing up, it was just like, man, I like girls, but it's weird to draw them because, you know, that's not appropriate for some reason. That's why I drew dinosaurs for so long. It was just like, dinosaurs aren't inappropriate for a young boy to be drawing. But I do remember like the first time somebody ever asked me to draw a girl, I was just like, I don't want to mess this up, because I was young, and man, puberty is a shitty time. Puberty is a shitty time of your life. I'm glad I'm not through that anymore. Let me see. Did I scare everyone off? I'm curious. It is just me in here. I'm having fun. I don't care. But somebody will watch this later and be like, there was nobody in here when he talked about literally any of this. It's good for me. But yeah, a long time I thought, you know, it was weird to draw shit like this. You know, why would someone draw stuff like this? This is inappropriate. I wasn't an inappropriate guy. I was a respectable man. Glad I changed that mentality. Honestly, though, I wouldn't be able to draw most of the things that I do if I still had that mentality. Still be fucking sweating over the fact that somebody told me that I drew something that looked people trying to use my art to justify that I'm fucking pedo, and that that to me, I'm just like, man, do you have anything better to do with your time, really? So that'll be a discussion for another day, because I've pretty much gotten past that whole thing. It's still annoying that that's something I had to deal with, but you know, people don't like artists for some reason. They treat us like shit. Don't be the moral of the story. Don't be an artist, guys. People treat you like shit. Alrighty. That's a start of something. I need to fix something weird going on with our arm here. Both arms. Something weird going on with her back. I think I just... There we go. That's a little better. Hmm. Here we go. But, you know what? It's what? 2:30? I think I'll make this a short one today. I made some pretty decent progress. I fixed Hanako's hair, and Lily's starting to show up in there, so I'll go ahead and crop this picture a little bit. There. I still need to fix Lily's sitting stance, but yeah, I kind of want. We had a pretty decent run. I'm still surprised so many people even showed up. Thanks. We'll be doing this. I've been doing it every Saturday so far. I don't see any reason to stop now. So I might have, because I'm not working, I might have another stream, but I might not because next week's Thanksgiving and I'll probably be home for the weekend. But certainly keep an eye out. I plan on streaming more, so I'll keep you guys up to date. Keep an eye on the good old places, the Facebook. I'll be making myself a Tumblr and a DeviantArt just so that way the normies can see my stuff too. So, as always, take it easy. This stream brought to you by coffee, the quicker picker upper.